Hi and welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new location. So I'm trying out some offices at the moment to move my business to, and this is the first one that you can see behind me. And also I've got a brand new microphone, so I'm really interested to hear from you guys if this all sounds all right, if the audio is at a good level and clear for you. So let me know how that sounds in the comments. So this video is all about your questions. So all the time you guys are sending me in questions about Etsy, the platform, how it works and how to best run your business on the platform. So let's get through these questions. They're all interesting. They've all been asked, requested many times. So let's get to the first one, and that is, when should seasonal items be loaded into your Etsy store? So if you're selling things for Christmas, well, when should you be putting them into your store? And the answer to this is, generally speaking, 3 months before the season or date comes around. So if it's Christmas, ideally those items need to be going into your store at the beginning of September. The reason for this is the algorithm needs time to index the listings, pick them up, and for these listings to start getting traction as the traffic for that season rises to the peak 3 months later. So general rule, 3 months. It doesn't matter if you put them in a bit sooner, a little bit later, but make sure there's plenty of time. Three months is a good medium. Let's get on to the next question. This next question is a big one. It gets asked all the time, and the answer to it is very simple. The question is, what is the best way to market your Etsy shop? And I know I'm giving a different answer to everybody else here on YouTube, but the answer of the best way to market your Etsy shop is using Etsy. The traffic of almost 100 million customers on Etsy is what we need to sell to and where we need to get our brand message across to. When it comes to marketing, everything that you do outside Etsy for marketing should be going to your website, not back into Etsy. I've highlighted this reasons for this many times. It's to do with visibility and quality score. So marketing inside Etsy should be using the customers that are on Etsy, and the best way to do that is proper inventory management with a listing plan. So when you open your store, you need to have a plan to move towards 100 listings. And I know some people can't do that. If you can't do it, and I'm speaking to you, don't worry, you don't need to get to 100. Just try to list as many as you can. Generally speaking, the bigger the store, the more traffic you'll get, the more sales you'll make. So when it comes to Etsy, use Etsy for your marketing. The customers are there for you, and market directly to them with the inventory you sell. Once we start talking about external marketing, your brain needs to switch over and not think about Etsy as the destination for your marketing, be it email lists, social media, advertising traffic. None of those things should be going to your Etsy store. They need to go to your website. So when it comes to Etsy, use Etsy to market your store. You've got customers coming into your store all the time. You've got messaging, talk to your customers, grow your store, make attractive offers for people to buy, for people to move around your store. Keep the focus inside Etsy for marketing on Etsy. Outside, for your website, fill your boots with any of those methods that I've just described. Let's get on to the next question. The third question is, what do you put in your shop announcement? Sounds so simple, but so many people don't get this right. So your shop announcement is an extension or expansion of your shop title. So your shop title is literally one sentence, one line on what you sell. A shop announcement should be an expansion on your shop title. It's where you tell the world all about what you do, all about what you sell, and make sure that you describe your business accurately, because all the search engines around the world like Google and Yahoo and Bing, they all index your shop announcement. So it's very important that you have accurate information relative to your business in that announcement. Really straightforward, 2 or 3 sentences. Tell the world what you do. Let's get on to the next question. Right, question 4. This is a brilliant question, and so many people need and want to know the answer to this. How many listings should a digital store have? So some of you will know I always talk about getting to 100 listings. So getting to 100 listings, it proves viability for your business. You should have made some sales when you get to 100 listings to prove that what you're designing, what you're producing has a market and people want to buy it. For digital stores, as a general guide, 100 listings is an absolute minimum. So 100 listings is a minimum, not something to aspire to, it's the first level. So once you go beyond 100 listings, 150, 200, 250, 300 listings, now you're starting to move into a place where you should, if people like your designs, start to be bringing in more sales per day. Once you get to 400, 500, 600 listings and more, the sales should be racking up on a daily level. So you can see, because there's so much competition for digital stores on Etsy, it's so easy to do, right? The barrier to entry is so low. Bigger stores tend to sell a lot more than smaller stores. So aim as an absolute minimum 100 listings and then try to get beyond 200 into 300 as a general guide. If that doesn't work for you, fine, just do what you can in terms of increasing the size of your inventory. But if you have the capacity, bigger stores in the digital world generally sell much better than small stores. Let's get on to the next question. This next question, question 5, is fascinating. It's one that's asked all the time, literally all the time. Is email marketing important? So is email marketing important in the context of Etsy? So my answer to this is it depends. If your store is tiny, you've just opened, you're just starting to grow, you've got 20 items, 30 items, 40 items, you're at the beginning of your Etsy journey, email marketing is not important. All the time that you put into marketing funnels and creating campaigns for your email marketing software, that time needs to almost exclusively go into the development of your Etsy store. As the store grows, as your Etsy store becomes more grounded and starts to make sales, email marketing becomes more important, because email marketing is about brand. It's about working with your brand to maximize the connection and revenue, of course, with your customers. But when you're a new store and you're growing, you don't have that. You don't have your brand. You don't have the customers. So email marketing at the start is really not important. What's important is focusing on your Etsy store. As you grow, email marketing definitely becomes more important. Let's see what the next question is. Question 6. I know this has been asked a fair few times. I believe I've answered it at least once in my videos. What is a good conversion rate? So people put in my comments their conversion rates, what they're getting, 5%, 4%, 3%, whatever their conversion rates are. And these numbers are great. But as a general guideline, a good conversion rate is 2%. So if you can convert at 2%, and by the way, conversion rate is total views divided by the number of sales. That gives you your conversion rate. 2% is solid. It's not amazing, but it's solid. Some people get way beyond that, and plenty of people get below that, but it does depend on what you sell. If you sell supplies, for example, your conversion rate can be lower than 2, and that's still absolutely fine. This is because you'll have lots of items in your store. Also, high-end jewelry stores, so jewelry stores that sell very expensive jewelry, their conversion rate is often lower than 2%. And this is normal as well, whereas cheaper jewelry, conversion rate can be 3%, 4%, 5%. So there's certain outliers, certain niches where conversion rate will be lower. But as a general guide, 2% is good. Let's get on to the next question. I've saved the best question till last, and this is especially relevant for people who follow me and or take my advice and want to grow their store to 100 items. This question's been asked a few times. What do you do? What is your listing rate once you get to 100 items? So what do we do when we get to 100? I've told you many times, try to get to 100 items at a rate of listing of 1 item per day. When you get to 100, you need to reflect. So you need to sit back, look at your store, look at how many items you've got, 100, and then say to yourself, have I got sales? Is this store working? Are my products viable? If you're making sales, then you need to keep listing. You don't stop at 100. You only really stop when you get to that point of listing where it's not benefiting you in terms of sales. And the only person that can see that information is you. So keep listing slowly and steadily. As long as you're making sales and the sales and views go up as you list items, keep listing. Keep listing, because the more views you get, the more sales you get, eventually it will top out. So you'll see maybe at 200 items or 150 or 500, whatever it is for your store, the views and sales top out. At that point, you've reached the limit with your listing number. So that's what you need to do. It's an organic thing, it's an individual thing, it's personal to you. See where you go with it. Mostly 200 to 400 items is a good place to aim for, broadly speaking. I'm not getting specific with any particular niche or shop. So get into my comments, let me know what you thought of this video, and give me more questions. Put the questions in my comments so I can do more of these videos. I know you guys appreciate me answering these burning questions that everyone has. So I'll get into the comments. I'll answer all of the comments as I always do, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Cheers.